Hey, everybody. I'm Jesse. And I'm Jesse. And this is... Wait, what?
Welcome to Boring Conversation, a Malifaux podcast.
Hey, everyone. Jesse breaking in here to give you a quick little episode with some exciting updates about CaptainCon 2025. As most of the listeners know, I've been running the Malifaux events at CaptainCon for the past several years, actually. I'm looking forward to running the events for 2025, and I wanted to share some pretty exciting changes that I finally decided to implement for this year. So, in previous years, I'd run the Malifaux Content Creators Invitational event. It was a two-person team event, and I was, inviting specific content creation teams from all over the, podcasting, YouTubing, and blogging world of Malifaux. So when I first started running the events at CaptainCon, I actually kind of had to do it on short notice. The gentleman who had previously run most of the Malifaux events kind of unexpectedly had to move out of state, and just suddenly there wasn't any Malifaux events on the docket. So I kind of took it upon myself to make sure that some events got put onto the event schedule. I really didn't want to see the convention kind of fade away as a destination spot for Malifaux like it had been in years past, especially since it's so local to me. So somewhat self-serving, I suppose, but mostly I just wanted to make sure that there was still a Malifaux presence at this, which I think is one of the better gaming conventions in the Northeast. So, I started thinking of ways that I could kind of make sure that it didn't just turn into, like a typical small convention, maybe one day, 14 people event. So I said, what can I do to really drive a lot more interest in this particular convention, drive up attendance at the main 50 Soulstone event, which was Booty and Plunder, held on Friday or Saturday and Sunday. And I decided that a great way to do that was going to be to, basically advertise it to content creators, try and get as many content creators to the convention as possible to participate in the main event. And the way that I decided to do that was by developing the Malifaux Content Creators Invitational, MCCI. Kind of the intent there was to drive a lot of visibility for the convention across the content creator space, and that would, encourage them to come play, compete against other teams, have some kind of friendly rivalries there, and then also increase the number of folks that were going to be there for the main Saturday and Sunday event. Also, maybe some people from the general public would be interested in coming to play against folks that they've, heard or listened to for, maybe years in some cases. So that kind of worked really well. At the time that I started the CaptainCon events, there really weren't that many large, 50 Soulstone 2-day tournaments in the U.S. And there were a couple of them, LVO, Nova Open, obviously, Adepticon and Gen Con have always been on the docket. But in terms of other stuff, especially the time of year that CaptainCon is, there really wasn't that much at all. So my primary goal was to make sure that we got a large tournament that would, people would be able to fly into from all over the country and potentially internationally if they were feeling very ambitious. So pumping up the numbers for Saturday, Sunday was always kind of the primary goal. Well, we're now at a point where we have large GTs kind of all over the calendar. In addition to the kind of standbys, we've also started seeing the GT in Houston really hit its stride in the last couple of years. The Danger Planet folks did their GT over the summer. We've got Good Things Happen, the charity event that Doug and the Scoundrels team have been running that's been drawing larger crowds. And I kind of decided that, I don't really think we need a big standard 50 Soulstone event at CaptainCon anymore. And that gave me the opportunity to do what I have always really wanted to from jump, which was to create essentially a spiritual successor to the second edition events that really were the most fun that I've had playing not only Malifaux, but tabletop gaming in general. Those were the Bragging Rights team event, which was later succeeded by the Ultimate Team Showdown, or UTS. So those two events were not only the most fun that I've had playing miniature games in the past, but I feel like they also did a fantastic job at really encouraging an even stronger sense of community among the Malifaux players. And, over the last couple of years, I've actually had some members of the public ask me if I had considered opening up the MCCI to public participation. We actually had a team of players from the Connecticut region that volunteered as ringers for last year's MCCI. I believe their team name was the Ringling Brothers, which was pretty darn smart. Good job, guys. And you know what? I think it's time to make this happen. So here I am announcing officially that for CaptainCon 2025, being held in Warwick, Rhode Island, January 31st through February 2nd, Booty and Plunder, the main 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday, is now officially going to be a open 3-person teams event using Gaining Grounds 4 rules, 5 rounds. It's going to be a ton of fun. I wanted to make sure that I got this announcement out nice and early. That way everybody would get a chance to take a look at the kind of proto tournament packet that I'm going to have linked in the show notes. The events are already posted on the CaptainCon website. In addition to the teams event that's going to be held Saturday and Sunday, I'm also going to be hosting a warm-up tournament, 3 rounds, standard 50 zones on Friday. Additionally, I actually got the okay from the convention to run open kind of learn to play Malifaux sessions during all 3 days events. And instead of it being located in the demo area, along with all the other demos for the convention, we're actually going to have a table set up right in our space. Actually, I just picked up a couple of the starter boxes that I feel like really kind of personify the vibe of Malifaux better than just about any others. I'm very excited about those. Picked up the Neverborn and Arcanist starters, in case anybody is wondering. And I'm going to be working on getting those painted up along with a table of terrain, making some adjustments to the model's rules to kind of streamline the demo format, and really looking forward to giving other players who might be wandering through a chance to check the game out instead of just seeing a bunch of games being played and not really having a good bead on what's going on. I want them to be able to learn this fantastic game at the same time. So the pairing process for the rounds is going to be in the tournament packet, but I'm going to go over it here just to make sure everybody has kind of a clear understanding of how things work. And I think that this really sort of encapsulates just how much fun the event can really be, even during the pregame process. So what'll happen is 2 teams will get paired against each other based on standings, of course, or randomly for round 1. And each team of 3 players will walk up to a set of 3 tables, A, B, and C. Whichever team is in the lead is going to be considered team 1. The other, of course, will be team 2. You take a look at the tables, what the terrain looks like, and then you're also going to be looking at the encounters on each table. Now, the schemes are going to be shared across all 3 tables for a round, but each table is going to have a unique deployment type and unique strategy. So once you get a chance to take a look at the tables to see how the deployment strategies and scheme pools are going to impact your preferences, each team is going to confer amongst themselves, and each player is going to choose 1 leader. Now, that could be a master, it could be a henchman, whatever you'd like. And all of those leaders are going to get declared at the same time. Once you get a chance to see what leaders the other team has declared, each team is going to secretly select one of those leaders to put on one of the tables. So team 1 is going to put one of their leaders onto table A secretly. Team 2 is going to take one of their leaders and put it on table B. Both are revealed at the same time. Everybody has a chance to kind of confer amongst themselves again, and then we repeat the process, but on opposite tables. So at that point, Team 1 is going to take one of their masters and put it secretly down on table B. And of course, Team 2 will do the same on table A. Those will be revealed at the same time. So now we know what the pairings are for tables A and table B. And then whatever other two masters have not been, or two leaders, I should say, have not been selected, will automatically default to table C. At that point, all of the pairings are all set. Everybody moves to their tables and play proceeds as normal. Just this pairing process, I've gotten a lot of feedback on, and it's really a lot of fun, especially once you get to a 3-player team. 2-player team is fine, but a 3-player team really adds an extra little kind of level of complexity to the pairings. You don't have to get too thinky about it, but it's certainly a very engaging process. And, well, sometimes if you want to play one particular strategy, but you don't want to play against one particular leader, well, things can go a little sideways, and you might end up getting stuck into a strat or leader that is somewhat less ideal for you. It's just kind of the way the pairing process works. It's one of the things that makes it so much fun. There are some other things that I still have yet to decide on for the event, such as hiring restrictions. Last year we did bans. This year, we might do bans again. We might do limited. I haven't really decided. I got to put some thinking into that. One thing that is definitely important to note is that we are going to be using clocks again, just like we did last year. Those have become sort of the bog standard. I think that they really just streamlined the play of the event in general, and I'm very much looking forward to being able to use them at this and probably all of my future events. So, with kind of the technical details out of the way, I wanted to take a minute and really highlight what I think is the most exciting part of the team event, which is going to be the Team Spirit Award. So, you always have Best Sports Award, Wooden Spoon, whatever you want to call it in a standard event. But when you get to a team event, well, it can be a little bit trickier to score, sportsmanship. But one thing that's definitely not that difficult to score is how much team spirit the other guys had. So what I would consider the most sought after award of the event is going to be that Team Spirit Award. There is going to be a voting process. Everybody's going to get to vote on whichever team they felt like had the best team sport, or they're going to be giving each one of their teams ratings. I haven't really decided what that system's going to look like, but long story short, it's going to include not just the stuff that happens at the table. I am heavily encouraging teams to potentially come in costumes or some sort of team uniform. If you want to have some sort of, handouts for your opponents, widgets. I've even seen people give away, beers or drinks to their opponents. Having team chants before the game. You could even record smack talk videos or any kind of pregame stuff that you really think is going to encapsulate what your team is all about. I've even seen those teams come to those previous events with like walk-up songs, like in a wrestling match. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. So I am heavily encouraging players and teams to come together and try to figure out a way to really blow their opponents away. Give them not only the best game possible, but also the best time possible. And, of course, there are going to be some other awards. I'm going to be devising some way that I can do some sort of a Scorpius award for this event. It's a little more challenging, but I think I have some ideas. And, long story short, I'm just really, really excited. This is the event that I have always wanted to run, and it's my hope that it's a huge hit within the community as well. So with this much lead time before the event, you have plenty of time to get together a team of 3 players. Figure out what your theme is going to be and just start getting prepped, ready, and excited for the event. If anybody is interested in participating on a team but doesn't have folks to team up with, please feel free to send me a message via either the podcast Facebook group or on the podcast Discord channel. I'm going to be keeping a list of kind of free agents, folks who would love to be on a team but don't have one together, or even folks who are looking to put together a team and just need some additional members. And if there's anything that I can do to help facilitate the process to get more teams and more players excited about this event, please don't hesitate to let me know. So now at this point, you've probably been listening to me jaw on for about, 10 or 12 minutes. And, listening to one voice is only so much fun. So I'm going to go ahead and let you fine folks go. I am asking you, begging you, pleading with you, help get the word out. Let's make this not only the marquee event of Malifaux at CaptainCon, but let's really work together to make this one of the marquee events of the year, so that we can keep it going strong, keep it growing. And man, I don't know if we'd ever get to the level of participation that we recently saw with the Cartographers Cup. 80 players is a whole heck of a lot of people. But hey, here's to hoping. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in Warwick this chilly January and February. Kind of rides the line there. Anyway, it's cold. Just be warned. Thanks, everybody. As always, keep your conversations boring and stay weird, folks.